ones who say I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well, at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can you. You can do what you do and do it well, do it better, smarter, harder, stronger. And before you know it, you got the eye of the tiger. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. I see the sun, it's rising up on the horizon. I'm gonna chase it till I get there. There might not be a pot of gold under that rainbow, but we'll find treasure on the way there. We gonna go. Here we go. We gonna go. We gonna go. Right on. Let me ask you why you do what you do. Where you been? Where you wanna go? Do you even know how you gonna get there? Well, come along with me, and together we'll see what I can learn from you, and you can learn from me. The sky's the limit, you'll see. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. On your mark. Ready? Well, let me put it to you. What are you gonna do with your lot in life? You're gonna buy the lies, or you gonna prove the strength that's inside of you. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Here we go now, baby. Here we go. Go, go. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. You need a vision to keep you dreaming. So what you dream of is what you live on. Yeah. Here we go now, baby. You push the pedal, turn the crank, pound the pavement, run that race, set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well, at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can you. You can do what you do and do it well, do it better, smarter, harder, stronger. And before you know it, you got the eye of the tiger. You need a vision to keep you dreaming.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS EU race on this May 18, 2017. Riders are just getting out on course and they will be doing one lap of the Watopia Figure 8. So it's going to be a fast and a furious race today. There are A, B, C, and D categories out on course today. We will be able to follow with you the A and the B categories, and we can jump right into what's going on with the A category as they are taking off from the piers right now. We do have Straczynski here, Piers Straczynski hammering away in this KISS EU race. KISS is a race series that does use all power-ups and TT bikes. Anything is available in the game, so we will be watching for any of that RNG randoms number game coming through in the race today. For the A category, these riders are assumed to be holding 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for the duration of the race. We do have the B category. They're just listening to their race instructions. You can see here, getting ready to go. It looks like they've got a solid 59 riders lined up and ready to ride in the race right now. Up at the front of the A race right now, though, T. Combs right along with Straczynski, and it looks like Arbor, actually, G. Arbor coming from Innovation Cycles, hammering away toward the front here. Do have a solid, it looks like, group here. Team Cartwright, though, off the back already. And is he deciding to use a TT bike? I know he is somewhat of a TT specialist in real life, I believe, or at least can hammer away a solid amount of watts at a steady effort, more of a ruler type racer out on most of these courses out on Zwift, and I believe in real life as well. Quentin LeFay here from Vision Cycling, one of the favorites most likely to take the win, right along with Hodges. Did just race actually, so definitely going to be watching out for Hodges. Gavin Richardson is here, just raced in the XRS race, doubled up as well as Hodges as well, so definitely a few riders who are going to be a little bit tired, so I think Straczynski might have an easier day today from Team Poland, battling it out with these boys in the A race. We're going to go over the race rules real quick here as the riders do get out onto course for the underwater tunnel on Ocean Boulevard. As the main selection point out on course is definitely going to be the reversed Watopia climb, the first time that they start to climb and really are able to make any kind of decisions for the decisive moves for the race. So power-ups allowed at all times. Bikes are, all of them are allowed for your category. So if you've never done any racing out on Zwift, you have to actually put your category in your name and join the correct race event. As you can see here, the B event does start about 3 minutes, I think, later. Yep, it is 3 minutes later, and you can see the B racers just getting out onto the course right now, hammering away. And then we do have the A category here. They are separated by about a 3 minute start. So the A category, 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher, and you put A in next to your name, and then you can also put in parentheses your team name. As you can see, T. Combe there with BRT in his name. Straczynski there with Team PL, standing for Team Poland. Lots of different teams have been developing out on Zwift. You're looking for a team, you can actually join a team by heading on over to zwiftpower.com, and there are some teams that are recruiting. You can look up what teams exist over there. They are all listed in zwiftpower.com. Or at least the ones that are registered, and then you can see who riders are riding for. You can also put on your profile on zwiftpower.com that you are looking for a team. So definitely some cool integrations for team recruitment there. A lot of these teams do have their own Facebook groups that they do communicate in. I know Vision Cycling definitely does. It's super active, as well as I know Team Poland, BRT, KISS Racing Team, XRS, the Experimental, Team Experimental, TFC. They all have their own Facebook groups where they interact and encourage each other on and communicate about what they're going to be doing for riding out on Zwift, as well as some rides in real life. Now, the first little kicker here is out of Ocean Boulevard. You see the Hedgehog here and Hodges right along with Straczynski and L. James there, making the way out at about 8-9 watts per kilogram there, just to get a little bit of a gap over the rest of the group. Loke here now, it looks like able to grab onto some wheels. Innovation Boys showing up in mass. Looks like Arbor here able to grab onto a wheel, not getting dropped off anywhere, as well as Quentin LaFay as they head through this dust field and try and figure out who is ahead of them, trying to find that wheel as they make their way. Hazelstead is in there from Norway, as well as Teak Holm, and then it will be G. Jones. And it looks like Woodcock and Cartwright still off the back here. Cartwright on that TT bike, gonna just set it at threshold and try and close things down, because he's on that TT bike. He will not be getting a draft from the rest of the riders, so it doesn't matter so much that he is off the back. What matters is that he catches them and is able to go by them and not have them draft on him. We'll see if he can pull this off. It's quite a feat there if he is able to battle it out and grab a spot out on course here. So because I mean, to be honest, the TT bike is not nearly as much of an advantage as you can already see here, as being in and amongst the group. It looks like he is on a training day using the race as motivation to push himself to another level, perhaps, out on Zwift today on that solo TT effort. We do see going off the front now, I believe it is going to be Richardson here, hammering away and trying to get a little bit of gap, but it will be Gates that closes it down, 5.7 watts per kilogram there. We do have social media integration going on. If you would like to interact at all in the broadcast, at Z Community Live over on Twitter, at Z Community Live over on Twitter. I do believe I have a quick couple of examples for that. And we also are right now are bringing in the Zwift Facebook social media so that we can bring in your comments and questions. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to go ahead and shoot them at us, as we would love to answer any of those that you might have. It looks like then in the B category race, we do have the Grupo Compacto at this point. So there is one off the front, D. Hassan, coming out of Australia, actually, just about to exit the underwater tunnel here, Ocean Boulevard, on that little 3.3% gradient. How long is this race? Yeah, so they will be doing one lap of the Watopia Figure 8. One lap of the Watopia Figure 8, and that is a total of, I'm looking here really quick, 29.6 kilometers. I do have having miles up at the top here. I do not believe there was the ability to switch on the fly was taken out of the game recently, so I can't push you and change to kilometers for you, but it will be 29.6 kilometers total for the Watopia Figure 8 course out here today. We do already have two off the front here in the B race, but it looks like S Plant right along with Jill Giljam here from Innovation, closing it down very quickly. It looks like for still a huge chase group, and the most decisive times out on course still to come. Stolk now going from way out, but that reverse Watopia climb maybe going to be a rude awakening if he sticks at 171, 450 watts there for too long, as Brian Greatrick here trying to close it down, maybe thinking that Hassan and Stolk are a threat. Now back to the front of the A category, as we do see here, Hazelstead now 3.6 watts per kilogram with C. Smith out of New Zealand at the front as well. This is going to be the main place where they are able to break things up, as the main climb here is about 3 minutes for the fastest A's. They can do it in about a 3:35 to 3:40 as a group. Because the climb does have a serious kick right at the front, you can see the course profile up in the upper right-hand side here. And it does have that initial kick into that 7% gradient or more. But then it does flatten out for a moment. It does have a couple little downhill and then a few more kicks and then one final kick to the top at a 6 to 7% gradient as well at the very top for that KOM. But because of that, it does make it a tactical climb, and grouping up and using the draft definitely does make it much faster to the top of the climb because of the flattening out. A little bit of false flats out there definitely on this climb. Suzinski now 9 watts per kilogram coming out of Poland here. Richardson following very closely there with that feather power up, which does lighten his avatar by 1 watt per kilogram, giving him a little bit extra climbing speed out there. And this is going to be the moments that definitely do matter. Being such a short course out here today, innovation here definitely letting them presence being known, and this is going to be a climb that's going to matter a lot more than usual because it's only one time up and over the top of this, and then it's going to be one time over the forward Watopia and then to the finish line. So they will come down the other side of the Watopia climb, make it through the Esses, and then be taking a right-hand turn back onto Ocean Boulevard, the forward, reverse direction that they just went, and then climbing back up the Watopia forward climb for a final time all the way to the finish line through the Esses one last time in the forward direction. So that is going to be the course today, and with one time over this longer climb, they're going to want to break it apart. Look at that line behind Szerzynski right now. Definitely causing some stress in some of these riders trying to hang on to the wheels. They're all just trying to find a wheel at this point as it is stretched out behind them. The riders now, it looks like a little ways back, 4 seconds to Quentin Lefay here. Hedgehog now just trying to hang on. They're just trying to find Orgel's wheel, who does have a solid 15 meters over Christensen. It is a 5-meter gap that you have to be within to get a draft. Orgel now kicking 7 watts per kilogram here. Loke, as well as Richardson and Annabelle, really trying to turn the screws here. Quentin Lefay, knowing that this is a moment of truth, kicks it into 8 watts per kilogram and doesn't want anybody to come with him, so immediately gets a 9-meter gap and jumps right onto the wheels of that front group. Browncliffe now 5.2 watts per kilogram. Not sure he's going to be grabbing on his wheel, only at 26 miles per hour. Here's 27 now at the front here with Haselstead, and it looks like Lefay 1 second back, almost back on terms. 177 beats per minute though. Definitely a moment of suffering and truth here out on course for Lefay to try and get back with C. Loke and the rest. I think this will be your lead group forming in this A category right now. And we are seeing here from Lee Wright saying, I need this in my life. Kyle Augustine saying, Christensen from Innovation is only 15. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Very, very cool. And good to hear that we have some juniors out on course. Alex Verrick saying, why Europe race is so late in Europe time? I think it's, well, this has been one of the most popular Europe races, actually. This is along with the ZTR races, the ZTR originally started out as the early birds race that they would call it, and it starts an hour and a half before this at 12:30. It's now the XRS race that we just broadcasted over on Zwift Community Live, and now the KISS EU race is the one directly after that. So there are two options, and I think that this one is aimed at those who, you know, you've gotten all of the other responsibilities out of the way, gotten home from work, you've had dinner or said hi to the family, done whatever that you need to get done for your evening, and then you kind of got the rest of the evening for yourself, and rather than turning on the tube, unless you're sitting here and hanging out and watching, this is also as good viewing, I would guess, as well. But you can also just jump on and get your turbo trainer in, battling it out with these boys and girls from all over the world. I think that's kind of what they are aimed at. Oh no, Brian Greatrick now, they are heading up and over the top of the reverse Watopia, and Brian, one of the favorites to win the B race, looks to have had a dropout out on course here, and too bad, as Brian has had some really good results as of lately, and it looks like some sort of mechanical there for him, and the team car is not going to be able to get him back to the front here. We do have Stokes still off the front here, 5.2 watts per kilogram. Solid effort. How long is this race? Jeremy Turner. The race is one lap of the Watopia Figure 8. It's about 30 kilometers out here on Watopia today. Thanks a lot for the question. So Stoke now, though, off the front at 4.7 watts per kilogram. I have a feeling he may be getting an upgrade. Again, if you are jumping into these races, make sure you check out what the FTP requirements are, your functional threshold power requirements are, as it really, really matters to make sure that all of the riders are getting a fair shot at each other and that people aren't just riding off the front away from everybody else. Stoke, though, maybe was keeping it under 4.0 for most of the race and now is just on the attack. That may be what's going on here. But with Verhoeven, I know Verhoeven's been a beef for quite a long time, so perhaps hanging out of the wheel there, they are going to be well within the category limits. If you're wondering what the category limits are, if you want to jump into a race, here's how you do so. The events are on the right-hand side of the screen when you log into Zwift after the pairing screen. You find a race and you see if it has categories. If it has categories, there'll be A, B, C, or D. Or if it has an E for everyone, that means that they all just have a mass start and there are no separated categories. But there is still categories that you need to join by putting your category in brackets next to your name. As you do see with Stoke and Palmer's, Verhoeven, Hassan, they all have B in their name because they're all a part of the B category. And that's how the results on ZwiftPower.com do track where you are finishing amongst the rest of the riders. So if you are a part of an E category race or event or out on Zwift, it still helps to put in your name the category you are racing in, especially if you're a part of an E category one, because it's going to want to track what race you are a part of. For the A category then, 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher for your functional threshold power, what you can hold for 1 hour. If you do not have your FTP or you do not know what your functional threshold power is, you can do a test, an FTP test, one of the hardest things you'll ever do. That does exist in Zwift, actually. You can just log into workout mode and use the FTP test to get that. Or just look up FTP test or find an awesome coach to help you out with that as well. Essentially, what can you hold for 20 minutes straight? 20 minutes to 1 hour straight. The 20-minute one, you multiply by 0.95. Lots of opinions on all that. Lots and lots of overanalyzation in this person's opinion on FTP and the exactness of it, as on any given day it could fluctuate between 20 to 40 watts a lot of times as an absolute on any given day that you could go. But it is an estimate shooting at with a large discrepancy within that zone. But in these races, ZwiftPower.com actually tracks Palmer's and Stoke and Verhoeven and all the A's right now as they come up and over the top here, and actually sees what people are putting out for the duration of the race. So right now, at the front of the A race, Hasselstad has been putting out 4.2 watts per kilogram for the last 15 minutes. So we know then and can keep track of then what kind of effort they've put out and whether or not they are within category limits, which is extremely important so that everybody's racing against somebody of the same ability level, able to get a solid workout and a dynamic workout, pushing each other out on course. So Stoke, Chalmers, Verhoeven here, it looks like a little ways off the back, Carlson and Pelosi. These three are trying to hold off a fiercely chasing pack. I'm not sure they're going to let them go. Only 6 seconds, and this group, being such a large group, is going to be traveling much, much faster as long as they are able to work together out there. And look at all those innovation boys. You can see the team kit that they've chosen out on course is definitely that Alienware kit with that green Trek, I believe. I'm going to double check here and make sure I got that incorrect. I got that correct. Yeah, it looks like they are on the Madone and hammering away here. I believe that's a Madone, correct? So now, solid effort by them. It looks like they are going to be chasing down those front runners. Then they only have 2 seconds here in that B category race. So the Bs are going to be 3.2 to 4.0 watts per kilogram is the assumption. The C category then will be 2.5 to 3.2 watts per kilogram for your functional threshold power, and the D category 2.5 watts per kilogram or less. So everybody has somebody to race against out on Zwift in these events. Better weather on Rotopia than the UK, throwing it down here, Dale Morwood says. And good to hear it, man. Definitely one of the main motivations for using Zwift at this time of year would be inclement weather, or it just gets dark at this time of night. So for you guys over there in Europe. See, Orgo now here, 3.0 watts per kilogram, 178 beats per minute. They're going to be heading over into Ocean Boulevard in just a moment here. This is most likely going to be one of those moments where it's just kind of Grupo Compacto, but actually this little 2% gradient here, sometimes people take a dig at it. Doesn't look like it's going much of anywhere. Quinn Lefay, 1 second off the back there, just trying to hang on to a wheel with James Hodges. Looks like the Hedgehog with C. Smith making up the main chase group, able to drop off Barrowcliff here, or Barrowcliff, and it looks like T. Combe and G. Arbor along with Magnus from Team ODZ trying to close things down as well, but they are 18 seconds back as the second chase group out on course. Szerzynski maybe the favorite to win, and not having too much effort already out there today, as I know some of these innovation boys have already raced, as well as Hodges. I know Quentin Lefay did not race in the XRAS race prior to this, so maybe Quentin will have a couple of matches to burn to stay with these boys here out there today. Now they are heading over to Ocean Boulevard. They're going to be waiting for that section out on course that is the forward Watopia climb before the next serious efforts, I think, will take place and put anybody in on notice to grab a wheel quickly. Dominic Donald's hanging in there. Go innovation. Yes, Madone for most, Kyle Augustine is saying. So it sounds like that is the innovation setup on that Madone. For most, I would think, of course, if a lot of people are just jumping into the world of Zwift, they most likely do not have all of the bikes unlocked just yet. As you can see, the riders heading on over at Ocean Boulevard. We do have a couple of S-turns, and then they will be heading over to the windmills as well as the marina, and then down underneath the tunnel looking for that climb to come on up to them. But innovation here not slowing down at all, even though it's the flatter sections of the course. See Loke now throwing one off the front here. Looks like Innovation's going to just kind of chill and watch and allow their rider to maybe get a little bit of a gap. Orgel trying to chase it down 4.7 watts per kilogram. Look at that gap forming now here as he's up and out of the saddle in that Amgen Tour California Sprinters jersey. Looking over his shoulder now, we do see Orgel jumping right on turns, but nobody is really wanting to counter just yet. A little ways off the back here, we do Lefay, though, needing to close down that gap here. It is about 4 meters, and it looks like it's going to happen as they are all back together. Grupo Compacto out here, out on course. Is it fair to race without a smart trainer? I would definitely say so. Watts are watts, and I would almost say it is fairer a lot of times to race some on a strain gauge power meter, and if you want more realism, then throw in a smart trainer as well. There are a few smart trainers out there that do have very high accuracy, and there are a lot of smart trainers out there that definitely have a little bit of calibration, or to another degree, a lot of calibration that gets a little wacky at times. So definitely the higher end of the models will have a better calibration, but even within those, you do have up to 5 or more percent discrepancy. Strain gauges tend to be within 2 to 3%, so it is definitely fair. Resistance is not as important as wattage, and putting out wattage, straight wattage, is just like lifting pounds. So if you lift 50 pounds with your legs, so-and-so lifts 50 pounds with their legs, and you lift 50 pounds with your legs, you've lifted 50 pounds. Watts are an actual measurement of power. If you put out 500 watts, put out 350 watts, you put out 200 watts, whatever it is, that's an actual measurement of power. And being on a strain gauge, that's going to be the most accurate thing. And so they're actually putting out that power regardless of what gear that you have to use to find that force in order to put that in. And if you have to spin out to find it, depending on what your skill set is, some need to spin at 90 to 100 RPMs to find the right wattage and find the right comfortable level to them, depending on their muscle structures. And then others like to grind it to find those wattages. And so, you know, that is more to do with different people's abilities to spin and find wattages rather than how fair it is with resistances. Watts are watts, and they're an actual measurement of power. You lift 50 pounds, I lift 50 pounds. you know what it is, or whatever it is, 50 kilograms, whatever. I mean, sorry, I'm the silly American using the imperial model, but so watts are watts, and I will stand by that as a coach, hands down. And so Corrado Dorney say no chance without a smart trainer. Go innovation, go. So I'd say it's definitely fair. Millie Mills, but if you want some realism, and also if you might actually get a little more watts from your strain gauge, actually, if you have a strain gauge along with the smart trainer, if you do feel those resistances come back at you as you are climbing out on course. So sometimes it does take, a lot of times people find that they find their best 20-minute powers and tests on uphills where they have force pushing against them. And so a lot of times it may be a little bit to your advantage to get both of those setups going together. Drew Christian saying go innovation. Dominic Donald saying go innovation. Innovation, hanging out in the broadcast, having a good time. It looks like cheering on their riders. I do have, just so you guys know, if you have not checked out Zwift Community Live over on Twitch, that is one of the main places that we're broadcasting, as well as on our Facebook page. You can follow us over there for any time that we go live. You can get push notifications as well anytime that we go live over at our Twitch channel, directly to your email as well as to your mobile device over on our, that's probably the easiest way to get notifications anytime Zwift Community Live goes live. We do not, it's not just racing here. We also do coach rides, group workouts, introductory group rides. Zuskana has a ride tonight, the women's introductory ride, actually gate weight ride presented by her and Zwift Fitness. 1.5 watts per kilogram is around what they average for that ride, and that's all broadcasted live on Zwift Community Live. Group workouts, group rides, races, all kinds of events, lots and lots of stuff going on with Zwift Community Live. We've got the eCrit series being broadcast actually with Mr. Jesper Anker. I'll be filling in with him for next week while he is off on tour over in Australia, showing up down there to hang out with all of you in the land down under, in the land of Oz, having a blast with Zwift. So make sure to be watching out for as they come through your area. So I'll be covering the eCrit series, which is going to be a full summer series of like 40 races where KISS and Zwift have joined together to create this racing series where people are battling it out for a spot on the live stage for a live race at the end of the Australian winter. So going to be a all-out battle for that in that eCrit series. I'm really excited to fill in and cover for Jesper next week and watch how it plays out for, I believe it is race number 6 in the series. All right, we do have this lead group that has formed now. Quinn LaFay has been able to hang on, it looks like, through the underground. L. James has fallen off by about 41 seconds. Szerzynski here with Halselstead, Richardson, Orgill, as well as Annabelle. Quinn LaFay is there as well. And it looks like 158, 178 there coming from Szerzynski. Halselstead now 154. Looks like it is a little Grupo Compacto. Orgill now up into that 189, though definitely in a little more distress than the rest of these racers right now, I believe. So it's going to be a difficult day, I think, for him to hang on, as this is going to be the final climb and probably one of the most decisive moments in the race. It is an all-out 150 to 2 minutes or so to the top of this climb. What do you got for 2 minutes of your life to try and win the race today? We'll probably have 2, 3, maybe 4 riders go off the front is what I'm guessing, and then battle it out through the Estes and to the finish line today. Let's go ahead and see. And it looks like Dominic Donald saying, nice break, chaps. That cut down the field. It looks like it definitely has, as James is about 46 seconds back. What an amazing effort there from the riders here. Szerzynski now, it looks like, throwing on 8.2 watts per kilogram. Annabelle now with a very early aero power up. Aero power up actually brings your drag down significantly in order to speed up your avatar here, but it looks like he's using that early on just to save a little bit for that first 30 seconds. 15-second power up there coming from the other innovation boy, which is that feather power up. As you can see, Loke making his way to the front now at about 173 beats per minute now, 17 miles per hour uphill at that 7% gradient now. Annabelle now following very closely, also innovation. Halselstead able to go with them with Szerzynski and LaFay. Richardson is there as well. Looks like Orgill, as we were saying, at 188. That seems to be threshold and is now fallen off. Another one bites the dust here, boys and girls. Hazelstead makes his way to the front. Now, halfway up the climb, who is going to make it to the top first? Szerzynski now with a counter of the Innovation boys as they had it over the first half, but now Szerzynski kicking it over the second half, trying to break things apart. It looks like Richardson able to hang on. LaFay is still there. Hazelstead still there. In that 6 to 7 over and over again. This is what they've been waiting for, is this moment. Who can hang on up and over the top? You can see the group right here making their way to the top. No breaks. It's all kind of Grupo Compacto, actually, as they make their way toward the Lexus KOM banner today. And it looks like Quinton now 5.7 watts per kilogram, sitting in 186 beats per minute, though they're all suffering pretty good, it looks like, as Hazelstead 166. Poland now here with Szerzynski. Peter now 186 here, trying to have some continuance over the top. Looks like Richardson, after already racing once, trying to hang on. Not sure he's going to do so. Will his watts fade over the top? The gap is opening up little by little. He's got to grab a wheel right now. It is 7 meters. He's got no draft right now. There has to be a little more effort coming into those pedals, and it goes out 1 meter at a time. Will he close it down? I'm not sure it's going to happen here, boys and girls. At the front, Szerzynski pulling this group along, not wanting another Innovation boy hanging on the wheel now. It looks like Loke is going to be able to do it, but Richardson's still off by 1 second. He's got to close it now. Up and out of the saddle, 6 watts per kilogram. This is for whether or not he is involved in this race still. Szerzynski can see it, and he's turning the screws at the front. 186 beats per minute, 352 watts, and now backs it off just a little as Innovation grabs back on. 3 Innovation versus Quinton LaFay, Hazelstead, and Szerzynski. So it's going to be 3v3, maybe, if the other boys kind of get together and start battling out against Szerzynski, but they're kind of unattached at this point, and the organization will not be nearly as great as a team of 3 that you got to battle it out against. Innovation, definitely one of the stronger teams that we've seen out on course recently, coming out in force for sure. Steph Gardner, good to see you, saying hi all over at the Zwift Facebook. Glad to have you in the broadcast today. As Champion over at the Twitch, I feel like I always have to ask, but is this live? Yes, this is live as Champion. This is definitely live. If it's never, if we are on replay mode over at the, we do run heading toward 24/7 broadcasting with live as well as some replays and rebroadcasts of races in case you missed them. There will always be a watermark that we have on the broadcast, so just make sure to check and make sure that the watermark is not there either in the lower right or upper left of the broadcast. And if you don't see a rebroadcast or replay watermark, it is not a replay. This is live at Champion. It's good to see you hanging out over at the broadcast on Twitch as always, and hope you're getting along well with your new Zwift setup, as I know you were looking to get all set up on Zwift and start riding. Go My Racers Innovation Cycling Smash, and we'll see. It looks like they're in a good position right now, Augustine, to pull this off today. As they do head downhill, they're going to be heading in the SE soon here, and that'll probably be the next spot where we'll see any kind of breaks. So we're going to head back on over to the B category race, as we do see more Innovation boys at the front here as well. C. Bacon right along with Verhoeven. We do got McGlue as well heading on up the Ford Watopia climb. And a tough Innovation. Giljam now as well. Stoka's there. Christensen. And this is a huge group at the front of this B race, actually. Really well evenly matched, it seems like, between all the boys out in this B category right now. And it looks like McGlue now 5.7 watts per kilogram, taking up the charge, wanting to break things apart. And now we do see that it's going to be Rindevold that's going to be able to close it down on Innovation. But look at all the green, black, and white at the front of this. There is going to be an Innovation train for the win, I would think, here in this B category. It's going to be a difficult day for Chalmers coming from the KRT team, as you can see here, in-game kit from the KISS Racing team, as they're making their way up and over the top of this climb. The second half of the climb to come here, and it looks like it's going to be Stolk now leading it out again at 183 beats per minute. Do these guys race for the same team on road as in Zwift? No, not all of them do. Some do. There are teams that do have that for sure. We do have, actually, there are quite a few teams that have jumped into the world of Zwift from real life that do have real life races together as well. I can speak for ourselves for Vision Cycling that we definitely have a lot of riders from real life that do race together also in Zwift. But there are definitely Zwift teams that have developed virtually, being separated by huge distances that race mainly together in Zwift. But that is starting to have some real life impact and get-togethers for sure. Stolk now coming up over the top here, 4.5 watts per kilogram. Looks like Verhoeven able to hang on. It looks like now, though, it's going to be Chalmers off the back here. 3 seconds for Stolk and Verhoeven. Innovation are going to have to get together here and have a solid pull at the front here with Ridderwald now, and then it's going to be Carlson, Tough, Christensen, McGlue. They're all together working really well, actually. This is like a well-oiled machine, boys and girls. And with this group, as long as they're able to take the poles at the front here and not put each other over limit, I think they'll bring Stolk back at 4.2 watts per kilogram right now. We'll have to wait and see. Tom Bain is saying, bacon smoking, go boys, this is cool. And do they get selected for a team? Invited, Dominic Donald is saying. And that's a lot of times how it works. If you're looking for a team out on Zwift, you can head over to zwiftpower.com and you can actually register on zwiftpower.com and create a profile over there, and you can put in your profile that you're looking for a team, and that'll put you on a list that some of these teams will see. You also find a lot of their team captains on Facebook, and they have team groups. Some of them are secret, some of them are private groups, and some of them are open. A lot of the teams that we could mention, I mean, we're talking Team TFC, WBR, Innovation, obviously right in front of us, KISS Racing Team, XRS Experimental Team, we've got PTZ. I mean, there's BRT, there's a team after team to mention, ODZ, and all of them put on great events a lot of times in game as well. So make sure to look around and do your research and contact the team captains or principals to jump onto a team, and definitely register at zwiftpower.com in order to get your profile set up so that you can put on there that you're looking for a team if you are. You can also find a lot of information about the teams on zwiftpower.com as well. It does have a full list a lot of times of the all of the riders for those teams. A lot of the team, there is also Team Poland. There's Team SZ from Sweden. So I mean, there's so many of them. I might as well quit road cycling and be full-time Zwift rider, Drew Christensen is saying. Yeah, Kyle, it's not like we practice or anything. Haha, machine, he's saying. So Stolk now at the front, as you can see, with a little bit of a gap, but I don't think it's going much of anywhere. All right, right back to the front of the A's. We don't want to miss the action here as they are definitely starting to, whoa, and now as they came through the Essies here, Loke threw down an attack on that first 5% gradient and grabbed a full-on 9 seconds. And the other Innovation boys now slowing it down at the front. Annabelle, 2.5 watts per kilogram, saying, nope, Strzezinski, you're going to have to come right on by and pull like a madman if you want to bring back Loke at this point. 9 seconds is not quite enough to have be fully comfortable, I would think, at this point. But Innovation with Loke here, 182 beats per minute, still kicking into that 6 watts per kilogram or so every time he hits these uphill sections now backing it out to about 5.4 or so. 183 beats per minute, absolute suffering, huge amounts of pain in the legs right now. Out to 11 now. Now he's got some comfort level, but LaFay can see that this is a moment he's got to go, and it's not going to be a sprint effort. It's going to have to be a goal from right here with the aero power up and gain a huge amount of time back before the line. Here goes Quentin LaFay from Vision Cycling, 9 seconds. It's down to 8 seconds. He continues to close it down. Innovation with 34 miles per hour. He's got his own aero power up though. Quentin here 39 miles per hour. This is for all of the chips are being thrown on the table, boys and girls. 6 seconds. He's got him within his sights. Can he close down 6 seconds in 500 meters? Those 7.4 watts per kilogram. 5 seconds now. Quentin Lefebvre coming on 40 miles per hour. 38 miles per hour coming from Loke now. Can he continue on? Now they're pretty evenly matched at the miles per hour. It's 5 seconds. Innovation up and out of the south. Quentin Lefebvre now as well. 191 beats per minute up into that 8 watts per kilogram with 300 meters. Perfectly timed attack there from C-Loke, and he is going to pull off the W here today in the KISS Europe race out on Zwift. And then will be 185 beats per minute of suffering to pull that one off, though, as Quentin Lefebvre now comes across the line of 197. Szerzynski now, I'm not sure. He gets nipped at the line by Annabelle for a 4th place for Szerzynski, 3rd place for Annabelle now. Solid result for them. Innovation coming across the line there in 5th with Richardson, it looks like. Solid effort to him. And then looking a little ways back, we're going to see nobody at this point. So we'll keep on moving back to then the B category races. They're just going to be making their way into the SE. Stolk here is off the front, it looks like, by 7 seconds. Can he hold on to this gap? It's a solid gap. Orgill is making his way to line for still a top 10 effort in the A category, but we don't want to miss any of this action in this B category. How's A grade looking? They absolutely killing it, Dominic, it looks like. And Innovation brings back the win for Innovation Cycles. What an effort there. Innovation, though, 8 seconds with that huge group in this B category. I'm going to have to take a look and see over at zwiftpower.com what they're saying for the category right now in the B category for the current watts per kilogram, because look, here we go for watts per kilogram in the B category. I am seeing Stolk at 4.2. Going to be getting an upgrade here, boys and girls. Stolk, as he is over category limits, 4.2 watts per kilogram, and he's going to have to hold on to that if he wants to hold off these boys. The rest, I believe, are most definitely under that 4.0 watts per kilogram, except for Bacon, actually. He's sizzling just a little too high at 4.2, as well as D. Hassan the last time they came through the checkpoint. Now, the last checkpoint, though, for them was the KOM banner, so it may have come down since then, but Stolk here at 4.5 or so, most definitely, I think, is going to be getting that upgrade to the A category out of the Netherlands here. So it is going to be Christensen with Chalmers now. Innovation still there, all in mass, with Verhoeven off the back by about 1 second. We'll see if Verhoeven can get this win. Definitely one of the stronger B category riders, been racing for a very long time out on Zwift. Here we go. This is where the action starts. 5 watts per kilogram, 6, 7 watts per kilogram on this 5% grade. They might actually catch Stolk, and it might not even matter with that upgrade, as they're throwing down big watts over this first little kicker in the S. He's looking at Chalmers here from the KRT up and out of the saddle on that Cervelo S5, one of the fastest bikes in Zwift. As we can see now here, it's going to be McGlue right along with Verhoeven making their way to the front. Only 3 seconds to Stolk. Stolk threw all of his chips on the table, but it looks like somebody might have some pocket rockets here with the aces up their sleeve, as Verhoeven's trying to close it back down. And it's down to 2.7. Will he be able to hold him off? 3 seconds. Probably not enough, though, to the line in this A category today. Kevin Stevens saying, think Innovation have their work cut out with QL. Wow, another good race. Yep, definitely. I was surprised, but it looks like Q was not able to close it down. Well timed, but not quite enough. He needed to close it down just a little bit earlier. The gap went out just a little too far, it seems. And great, Nathan. Love your moderation. Thanks, Elmer Systemens. I really appreciate the comment there. You got Stolk, guys. It looks like they do. I don't know. 3 seconds is the difference right now, Dominic Donald. We'll have to see if it's going to happen here. Now Stolk's got 6.3 watts per kilogram out of a hat somewhere. Magic Bunny, what is going on? 5.3 watts per kilogram, 185 beats per minute. How much more can this guy pull off? 4 seconds is the difference. Rittervold now at the front here. Looks like Innovation's resting up a little bit, but now here comes Chalmers from KRT saying, that's enough, boys. Who's going to do the work? Now at the front at 6 watts per kilogram, it's slowing right back on down. 4 seconds is the difference, but I have a feeling we're about to see the power-up train come right on through with a lot of arrow power-ups being thrown down all the way to the line. Less than a K to go to the finish now at this point. 6 seconds. He might be gone. I'm not sure they're going to close it down because it continues to go out. Somebody's got to start this lead-out train. 3.1 watts per kilogram. Not sure they got much more more left in the tank. 153. It's got to happen now or it's never, because they're going to run out of landscape. It doesn't matter how fast they go if they don't got enough landscape left. 8 seconds is the difference now, and it looks like Stoke is going to walk away with this one. Again, with an upgrade, though, so maybe they're just racing each other knowing that he is over limit. Maybe not, though. You got to double check and make sure over at ZwiftPower.com, 4.3, actually, it's only gone up from where it was. So now innovation coming on like a freight train. Here comes Verhoeven, though, 10 watts per kilogram with his own power up. Not an arrow, but just with a preemptive drafting power up, but Giljam now out of nowhere. Oh my goodness, what an effort there by Giljam. He's got that arrow power up, goes flying right on by Verhoeven, and Verhoeven's going to maybe be able to hold it off. I think he did. It will be Giljam, followed by Verhoeven, and then Chalmers, I believe. Giljam from Innovation, though. What an effort. Innovation, like we said, with that huge lead-out train, able to pull it off there. Verhoeven going to be taking second place. Stoke will be getting an upgrade into the A category. We'll see if the race organizers give him a nod for at least one win, or if he's had any kind of past relegations. We'll have to see. Hassan now across the line there, somewhere outside of the top 10, I believe. Hannon now next one. What a close race there between the B category riders. Solid effort all around on this one lap of the Watopia Figure 8. And huge effort there by the Innovation boys. Martin Nilsson, good to see you, and saying great job, Nathan. Appreciate the compliment, and solid effort all around to the riders. They're doing the hard job. I'm just sitting here chatting about it. MPE 360 now out of Switzerland, about across the line there in the B category, followed by S Mansfield and then S Plant. Solid result all around. Growth showing Innovation boys. Time for work now for me, Dominic Donald. Sounds good, Dominic. Have a great day at work. Thanks for joining us in the broadcast today. Great job to the Innovation boys. No, we almost got stuck there. Got to have quick hands if you ever click on your avatar when you are in the pens. If you start with an event, just so you know, you do not want to lose the riders that are nearby. That is for sure. As we are waiting for things to finish up here in the C and D category, I'm going to see if I can find some of the C category riders out on course. And there we go with A. Kroll. Thank you very much, Zwift, for just automatically putting me right on to this C category rider. That was kind of a that was a pretty nice little happenstance there. As I look through over at ZwiftPower.com, we'll be able to see who the current leaders are in the C category. It will be Elsmore, followed by E. Perry in this C category right now. Dog out of Australia now, trying to battle it out there with S. Martin then as well. We're back into the B category, it looks like, with Waters, Maley, Mayhew, and Thompson now making their way to the line. A lot of B category riders still coming to the line, actually. It was a huge amount of riders. I think there were over 100 riders that might have signed up actually for the B category. Always one of the larger races out, of course. Acox now coming to the line here. It looks like 5.5 watts per kilogram, getting away from another rider who may be a C category rider hanging onto his wheel. Has that drafting power up. For Human now out of Germany, just ahead of S. Pierce and then L. Watts. Isberger now from the PTZ, and then Werrity. It looks like this is going to be a solid effort to the line here from Werrity. 7 watts per kilogram. Houghton now trying to come across, though, and get right on by and nip him at the line. They've got 9 watts per kilogram. Looks like just barely at the line will be Houghton. And it looks like Werrity, who led them all out, not going to be able to hold on. And that's what happens when you play domestique in the lead-out train, boys and girls. You end up at the back. And so Papa Demetrio here out of Australia, about 26 seconds out from Allen. Next one's across the line. All right, we do not have results integration today. I don't think it got updated. I'll do a real quick here look just to make sure I'm correct about that. But I do not believe it got, no, it's still the Joachim one. So this is incorrect results. Well, I'll go ahead and read them off here from the A category and B category as they came across the line. In the A category, we did have Chris Loke followed by Quentin LaFay, Alessandro Dianabel, Peter Szynski, and then Gavin Richardson for your top 5 in the A category. In the B category was Bob Stoke, but that was a 4.4 watts per kilogram. Some of the boys in the A category didn't put out in the top 5 did not put out 4.4 watts per kilogram. So Stoke, time for that upgrade. Congratulations on getting that upgrade. Madness Guild Jam now for first place, followed by Harm Verhoeven, then Keith Chalmers, Andy Tuff, and Nick Carlson. And I see Innovation in the top spot, fourth place to Innovation, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, all to Innovation. But CTWT with Harm Verhoeven and then Kiss Racing Team, Keith Chalmers for that second and third place, respectively. Solid job all around in the A and B categories. Definitely. Great job to all of the riders out on course. I think we're not going to be able to find the rest of the racers very easily, as this is one of the most popular times out on Zwift. I believe we've got well over 15 plus 100 riders out on course right now, and it's going to be very difficult to find where the front of the C's are, but I will be able to tell you maybe a little bit about the results at least. Let me just double check here and see if I can give you a little bit of information on how the C results are going to play out. It looks like Elsmore is going to be getting an upgrade into the A category along with E. Perry, both C category riders. A. Knoll along with Sujarv, and then Dalen, E-Man, and B. Eaton. All together, it looks like out on course for that C category. I'm going to see maybe I can find that group. Erdner now, it looks like, just trying to come to the line, not the front of the C category just yet. I may be able to bring in for the sprint here. Harper is there a little ways back from those front runners. D-Kiss as well. Looks like Groden in that C category, trying to bring in a chase into the top 10 or so. I have a feeling some of these C's are just about to cross the line. Yep, and here we go. We just barely found the front end of this C category as they're making their way to the line, actually. Solid effort here. It's going to be Noel Dalen. This is the sprint for the win. Eamon as well now. Coming out of Belgium, 13 watts per kilogram. Killer effort, 185 beats per minute. Looks like Eamon will be taking the win in that C category, followed very closely by Noel, and I think it's going to be Sujar actually followed by Noel. That'll be your top three in that C category. Nice job to those riders out on course within category limits under that 3.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of the race. All right, what's coming up on Zwift Community Live is what we want to talk about next. So later tonight, we'll have Zuskana's Gateway Women's Ride. Definitely check that out if you would like to. 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, USA, or CDT, Central Daylight Time. Whatever, Central Time, USA, 10 p.m. And that is going to be happening. If you'd like to jump into that group, it's a 1.5 watts per kilogram ride for women specifically, and that will be live streamed on all of Zwift Community Live's places, as well as Zuskana's personal Beam channel. Then tomorrow we do have the TFC race. Definitely want to check that out, as well as Zuskana's workout ride that will be happening tomorrow night. Then on Saturday, obviously the eFondo is going on Saturday. You're definitely going to want to check that out. Special in-game kit stuff that you can get and unlock, as well as the accomplishment of racing or riding in the eFondo. It's a ride, but a lot of times people push it definitely at the front end of eFondos. But at the same time, find a good group to hang out with, get that accomplishment in, and hammer out on the Watopia Mountain. Obviously, the eCrit series is coming up, as well as the Amsterdam Tour of California group rides. Definitely want to check those out as well. I'm going to just double check and make sure any questions are coming in through the social media integration. Awesome innovation. My best beast training works. Tom Bain is saying, not forgetting your hugs either. Kyle, Tom Bain is saying. So it looks like innovation's having a great time. All right. If you'd like to get into racing anytime, or riding or any of these group events, you can join events really easily through the Zwift mobile link, as well as by logging into Zwift on the application itself. And after the parent screen, all the events are on the right hand side. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, head on over to Zwift Community Live's Facebook or Twitch. Twitch especially for push notifications anytime that we go live, and follow us there. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Congratulations to all the racers. Great job as always. And of course, everybody, as always, ride on.
Here we go now, baby. You push the pedal, turn the crank. Now on the pavement, run that race, set that goal, give it chase. Don't be afraid and join the ranks of the ones who say I'll see what I got and get what it takes and see how far I can make it. Even if I shoot for the moon and I don't quite get there, well at least I know that I can ride my bike with no handlebars. And so can